Okay, welcome to this lecture in which we are going to uh, develop the model and understand the physics based analysis of the VT dependence on temperature. Okay, so we want to find out how the threshold voltage varies as that operating temperature changes. Okay, that's a very vital concept to keep in mind when you are designing circuits. Okay, let's I mean in the course of today's lecture we are going to revisit couple of things which we have already studied earlier. For instance, this is the typical metal oxide semiconductor junctions, right? MOS structure. This is the metal, this is the oxide, MOS, right? Now here what we observe, what we all know is that with respect to the vacuum level, which I have essentially used these curved lines to indicate that. With respect to that, we are essentially having a work function difference of phi m, which will essentially bring us to the Fermi energy level of the metal, EFM, that we all know. And I have put these two tilde signs indicating that this is not to scale. Okay. So usually this is, let us say, around 1.12 electron volts, right? At room temperature, that is the band gap of silicon. Whereas in that case, the Xi silicon will be around 4 electron volts, 4.05. So this height should be like 4 times the separation over here. So that's why I have put one double tilde sign, which is the standard symbol for not to scale. Okay. Now, this Q Xi silicon and then Eg by 2, this is Q phi f. So essentially, the theoretical work function on the silicon side is given by Xi silicon plus Eg by 2Q plus Q phi f. That's exactly what I have written here. I have divided everything by Q because these are all in potential units, not electron volts. Whereas in this figure, we are plotting energy with respect to x or distance. So that's why y-axis being electron volts, so we have essentially put Q everywhere. In this case, we are not doing that. All right, so this is the phi ms, which we all know. So if we want to find out the variation of phi ms with temperature, which is capital T, we will have delta phi ms by delta T. Note that I'm not using small t here. Small t usually indicates time. So not to confuse with time. Capital T will be given by, if you notice that this is the material constant depending on the metal used. Xi silicon is again material constant depending on the silicon used. But we know that band gap, Eg, is a strong function of temperature. So essentially meaning that if I'm taking del phi ms by del T, we will be getting this differential and the phi f variation with temperature as well. Okay. Similarly, once we go to the polysilicon case situation, so this is poly, this is oxide, this is silicon. Okay, this is metal. So if it is poly, oxide, and silicon interface, in what we will first thing that we have to keep in mind that the band gap remains the same on both sides. Remember, poly also polysilicon, so that means the band gap will remain the same. The only difference is the Fermi energy level will be essentially aligned with the conduction band edge. Whereas in the case of semiconductor, the silicon substrate, the Fermi energy level will be lower than EI. As we all know, this is P silicon. So let me also just put PSI. This is also PSI. Okay. So now, what is work function, theoretical work function? Xi silicon plus Eg by 2Q plus phi f. In the case of poly, what is the work function? Xi silicon. That's it, because EF is aligned with EC, right? So Xi silicon will cancel and you get only these terms. No, but however, if we are taking the variation of phi ms with temperature, we will get into the same relation as in the case of metal gate the poly gate. So that means this is a very, very important concept to keep in mind, that whether you are using polysilicon as the metal gate, I mean, you are using polysilicon as the gate material, or you are using a metal as the gate material, the variation, hence the flat band voltage, is independent of the material, except of course the band gap which is involved. So, but the band gap is again with the silicon, right? So it is independent of the gate material. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, got it, everybody? So keep this in mind, that the variation of the flat band voltage with respect to temperature is independent of the gate material. Okay, whether it is poly or whichever metal, it doesn't matter. All right, so this is one very important relation. I've put a box. Now let us get back to the original definition of VT. We are of course ignoring the body bias and all those like terms. So you will be left with VT equal to VFB plus 2 phi f plus 2 epsilon SI QNA 2 phi f by Cox. Correct. This is a very standard expression for VT. So I can put this box, but this is known to everyone. So if we want to find out the variation of VT with respect to temperature, so notice here, that is the heading of today's lecture, VT dependence on temperature. So what is the rate at which the threshold voltage will change with respect to operating temperature? So what we will see towards the end of this lecture is that this del VT and by del T is not something that you can ignore, especially in modern technology. You cannot ignore that. So that means if you know that your device is going to get heated up, okay, then you have to kind of estimate the VT, either underestimate or overestimate the VT than the actual value. That is what we'll be driving at. So this is a very, very important concept. So now what I have done here is that I have taken the del T of VT on the left hand side. On the right hand side, it will simply become del VFB by del T plus 2 del phi f by del T plus, if you notice here, except this phi f term, all the other terms are independent of temperature, right? So I have just taken the derivative and you are left with again del phi f by del T. All right. Now, del VFB by del T is something which we have already seen previously in this relation. Okay. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this and put it right here. Okay. So minus 1 upon 2q del Eg del T minus del phi f del T is right here, which is replacing this particular factor, this particular term. Plus 2 del phi f del T is here, plus this. All I have done is again the typically what we usually do. We'll pull out epsilon SI and Cox was already there. So you are left with this kind of a relation. I mean, the factor simply, this is the rearrangement of the terms, and we have got del phi f del T. Okay, clear? Now, the first things first, this is minus del phi f del T. This is plus twice del phi f del T. So 2 and this will cancel. So you are left with 1 into del phi f del T here, and here this whole factor. So let us do one thing. We will leave the first term as it is, and del phi f del T, I will bring it outside the third bracket. Just basic algebra, but look at the significance of it soon. So you will be having just 1 plus this whole factor. Now this within the square root, if you notice, this is nothing other than the maximum depletion width. Therefore, epsilon SI by WDM is nothing but CSI. Okay, so that becomes twice into, so here I have written, recall that small m, the body effect parameter, is 1 plus CSI by COX is equal to 1 plus epsilon SI by WDM 1 upon COX. Okay, so that means epsilon SI by WDM divided by COX. So this is essentially the CSI is equal to how much? Small m minus 1 from this relation. So all I'm going to do is this whole factor epsilon SI by WDM, and this is 1 upon COX, I will replace by small m minus 1. Okay. So what do we get? Twice m minus 2 plus 1. So twice m minus 1 is coming out of the del phi f del t. Now what we understand is that the rate at which the Vt changes with temperature is a very strong function of the variation of the band gap with temperature. And but remember, this is something like a material property. Different materials will respond to the temperature variation of band gap differently. So not only that, different materials will have different band gaps, e.g., they will also have different rate of variation of band gap with respect to temperature. Okay. Now, del phi f del t, as we have been telling from the very beginning of today's lecture, that phi f is a strong function of temperature. Let's figure it out. So what is phi f is phi t ln Na by Ni. Phi t is kT by Q. We all know that. Instead of Ni, I can write this root over Nc Nv e to the power minus Eg by 2Q. Remember, the value of Ni, what we usually speak about silicon, is like 1.45 10 to the power of 10 per centimeter cube at room temperature. This at room temperature is a very important factor. Without mentioning that, it has got no meaning actually. That value has got no meaning. So as you can clearly see, there is a strong temperature. Okay. So now Ni I have replaced by root over NC What is important for us to note that NC it's themselves are dependent on temperature. We will look into it. So e to the power of minus Eg by 2 kT was in the denominator, that becomes positive in the numerator. So since this is a ln factor and this is e to the power, so let us do one thing. We will simply this is a product that becomes a sum. So this is kt by q, that is phi t ln Na by root over NCNV plus kt by q. What is this? ln of this factor e to the power of Eg by 2 kt. So that is simply Eg by 2 kt. Got it? So plus kt by q Eg by 2 kt. Okay. Now, once we are doing this, let us find out the variation of phi f with temperature. So this is the phi f dependence on temperature. So del phi f del t will be equal to, there is one capital T over here. So it will become simply del t del t. So this will not be there. So k by q ln Na by root over NCNV plus, notice this kt by q is phi t, del t of ln of this whole factor. Remember, NCNV are also dependent on temperature. Plus kt cancels, so you are left with 1 upon 2q. There is a 2, there is a q here, and then del Eg by del t. Again, we are reaching out to the same factor del Eg by del t. Okay. Now we will work on this term. Okay. So del phi f del t is equal to k ln. Why did I write this step? Okay. So k by q ln Na by root over NCNV. The same thing I have just copied here. Instead of putting root over NCNV in the denominator and trying to take a derivative, it is easier for us to put the root over NCNV here. I've reversed this numerator and denominator. Okay, is equal to k by q ln Na by root over NCNV minus phi t. Then we are trying to do a del t of this factor. Since it is ln, this will be reversed, like interchange numerator denominator. So Na is above root over NCNV into Na is a constant, so Na has come out of root over NCNV plus the rest of the term. Okay, you can take a pause and look how it is going, because you will not find this derivation everywhere. I could have simply stated the final boxed relation, but this is a course on modeling, so it is better to understand how it is coming. Uh, okay, now the reason why I am kind of patiently doing all this is because the results are fabulous. Okay, so the whole relation essentially boils down to finding out this derivation. Okay, so del t of root over NCNV. So NC and NV, we have done it towards the beginning of this course. We already know this. So NC and NV is simply multiplied each of them. You are left with this. Remember, there is a capital T to the power of 3 by 2, capital T to the power 3 by 2, that becomes cube. Root over NCNV becomes T to the power 3 by 2. Rest of the terms are temperature independent terms. So del T of root over NCNV is equal to, this constant term comes in the front, 3 by 2 comes in the front, T to the power of half. Instead of writing this in this form, it will be easier for us if I can, because I essentially want to get rid of this complicated term. तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे यहाँ पर, 3 by 2 we will keep it as it is, and we will divide and multiply the numerator denominator by capital T. So denominator becomes capital T, numerator becomes T to the power of 3 by 2, which is essentially this root over NCNV. Look at this terms here. 2, this entire prefactor remains the same. So this part and this part remains the same. Then T to the power of half, that becomes T to the power of 3 by 2 by capital T. So if you notice, this is T to the power of 3 by 2. This is also T to the power of 3 by 2. Okay. So I will by root over NCNV. 3 by 2 is here by T. What do we gain out of this? Instead of this del, it with this one. Therefore, from here, if we come to this, K by Q, the rest of the terms are here. Instead of del T root over NCNV, I'm going to put this one. Phi T by root over NCNV, it was earlier there. And instead of this del T, I will put this one, 3 by 2 root over NCNV by capital T. Then the mastery, the trick, the intelligence which we have done is that replacing it by writing it in the form of root over NCNV simply cancels these terms out. So it becomes easier for us to handle. So now what we observe is that phi T is equal to KT by Q. KT by Q. So this T and this T will cancel. You are left with 3K by 2Q. So this entire term, as you can see, which was kind of scary initially, del T, this whole term, that has become completely independent of temperature. Nice. Now, what we have essentially figured out is basically del phi of del T. But our original relation was this one, because our main objective is to find out a model for the temperature variation of Vt. So del phi f by del T, we have essentially broken it down into this factor. What we will do is, we will again write that relation. So let's do one thing. Okay. I'm just copying this over here. The only difference is, instead of this 2m minus 1 is also here. Instead of del phi of del T, we have essentially figured out that relation. So I'm going to put it right there. Okay. So now what is interesting for us is, notice there are several terms containing del Eg by del T. Remember, that is a temperature, that is a material dependent property. T by del T, there is a minus 1 by 2q. Here it is 1 upon tq. So there is basically twice m minus 1. So what I shall do is twice m minus 1 minus 1, basically giving you twice m minus 1 by 2q del Eg by del T. Then what is the other part which is remaining? Notice there is a minus here. So minus twice m minus 1. So this k by q I have side because there is a k by q in as well. So this 3 by 2 is here plus. Again, what I shall do is I'll replace this root over NCNV to the numerator. NA will be in the denominator. So there will be another minus. So I just want to bring this minus out. The reason will be apparent very soon. So finally, what we get is this is twice m minus 2 by 2q. This 2 will cancel. You'll be left with m minus 1 by q del Eg by del T minus twice m minus 1 k by q into this. So what is this? Temperature or simply Vt variation with temperature. Vt variation with temperature. Okay. Now comes the last part of today's lecture. That is, what are the physical insights do we get from here? First thing, for large devices, that means when we are speaking about, as I told you, this variation of Vt with temperature becomes exceedingly important as we scale down the technology. So if you are going to deal with lower technology nodes, okay, this del Vt del T term increases rapidly. So as I have been telling you from the very beginning, that larger devices are more robust. Always keep this in mind. So this crazy attitude towards scaling. So everybody is speaking about scaling technology, lower and lower technology nodes. Please remember, scaling the technology is a very good option only for digital ICs, where performance and all those are important factors. So unless you have the constraints on the PDP or the constraints on the delays and the operating frequencies and all that, it is better not to scale your technology. Okay, so if you notice, so what we have learned today at the very, very abstract level, without going into any consideration, is that if you are having a large device, then we know that small m is going to be equal to 1. What is small m? 1 plus CSI by COX. Invariably, COX will be larger because COX is epsilon OX by TOX. Remember that story, right? So basically, the small m is going to be equal to 1 because CSI by COX is going to approach 0, almost very, very less for large devices. So small m is approximately equal to 1. So if that is the case for large devices, small m equal to 1. If you put small m equal to 1 over here in this equation, clearly this entire factor simply gets deleted. Okay, so then what we observe is that the Vt variation with temperature becomes independent of the material property. Think, just understand what I'm trying to tell you. This is the whole reason why I have spent the last 25 minutes with this. So if small m equal to 1, then the model says that this del Eg by del T term simply vanishes because of this. Okay, and that is the reason why if you are looking into textbooks like Streetman or Nieman, like which deal with larger devices, older technology textbooks, they will not even have any of this term. Got it? So what is this del Vt del T for that? Simply you put small m equal to 1 over here. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So minus of k by q the rest of the terms. Therefore, the Vt variation with T is independent of Eg. सोचो इस बात को. It is independent of the variation of Eg. So that means we all think about like the band gap varies with temperature. Yeah, but Vt doesn't vary with that band gap. Vt will definitely have a variation with temperature given by this relation, but not the band gap. It is become independent of the band gap variation. Okay, so now if we look into the typical values, what we'll notice root over NCNV is around 3 into 10 power 19 per centimeter cube at 100K for silicon. If we substitute these values over here, so del Eg by del T of Si is approximately this value. This is essentially taken from experiments. Okay, as I told you, it essentially depends on which material you are choosing. Irrespective of the band gap, the variation of the band gap with respect to temperature is also different for different materials. So this is only for silicon. Okay, so now if we take Na equal to 10 power 16 per centimeter cube, that means it is a large device. So small m will be equal to 1.1. What is 1.1? Small m is 1.1. Let us say 180 nanometer technology node. Small m will be equal to 1.1. Then del V turns out to be, if you do the calculations, it turns out to be around minus 1 millivolt per Kelvin. Okay. Minus 1, how much? Millivolts. Okay. Very good. Now, for scale devices, it turns out that Na is much larger, 10 power 18. Small m is than 1.1, 1.3. Then del Vt del T is approximately equal to minus 0.7 millivolt per Kelvin. Okay. So what do we get is, if we are increasing the substrate doping, then del Vt del T can reduce from the previous one. So here it is 10 power 16. Here it is 10 power 18. So it will reduce. If you are scaling the technology node and you want a decent performance, at least closer to the large device kind of performance, more robust devices, scaled devices, but robust, then what you have to do? You have to increase the doping. In the next class, we will go through scaling theory. We will begin with scaling theory in the next lecture. So notice, so the 10 power 18, so if the moment you are scaling it, you have to ensure that the Na has increased. If you can see over here, this factor has Na in the denominator. So this factor will reduce comparatively. And that is one of the many reasons why you need to increase the doping when you are scaling the technology. The most important reason, of course, being you have to keep the Poisson equation the same. Okay, we will look into that in the scaling theory in the next lecture. So if since you have scaled the technology, small m has increased from 1.1 to 1.3, but you have to deliberately increase the doping level also for the substrate. Otherwise, LVT del T will increase rapidly. Okay. Now, just to keep things in perspective, like what are we talking about? For a large device, unscaled device, it is minus 1 millivolt per Kelvin, right? So Vt for 300 degrees Kelvin, whatever is the value, I have simply put del Vt del T and the variation with respect to temperature. This is the partial form we can always write, isn't it? Now, if we have increased the operating temperature from 300 to 400 degrees Celsius, now understand this. Immediately after this, I will start drawing certain curves, and this is going to be an eye opener for you when you are making circuit designs. So, okay, so I mean, if you are making a circuit without taking this VT effect into the picture, what is going to happen? You start watching a movie. In fact, that many of you have seen actually. If it is a very old laptop, before that movie finishes off, before the movie ends, your laptop is shut down automatically on its own because it has become so hot, the performance has become so degraded, it will shut down just to make sure that the silicon chips simply don't burn away. Okay, that is the time you have to give that laptop for servicing. So now in this case, what we are observing is that, so what to do, you have to at least make sure that your laptop remains switched on for at least 3 hours, right? So if it has to last for 3 hours, I'm not speaking about battery over here. You can keep it on AC, but remember, I mean, direct connection to the AC, but still you can keep it with the adapter. But still, your laptop should last for at least 3 to 3.5 hours, irrespective of which app you're working on. Think about the servers, even better. The servers are never shut down. Think about Indian Railway servers, Google servers, whatever. So if you are trying to think about our bit servers only, our VLSI servers, which I'm working on. So now in all the servers are never shut down. So that means you have to always take care of this del VT del T term. How are you taking into account? It's not that you can do anything about this del VT del T so much as a circuit designer. Hello. If somebody has to speak, please switch on your microphone. Mahipal, otherwise keep your microphone off. Yeah, thank you. So now what I'm suggesting is that you have to keep this phenomenon in your mind. All right. So notice uh, all I have done over here is VT variation is del VT del T multiplied by the temperature variation plus the VT at 300 Kelvin. Now, if the temperature has risen from 300 to 400, but mind you, this increase happens within 10 minutes of your laptop operation. Within 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, good enough for increasing by 100 degrees Celsius. Then, if I even consider the most robust one, minus 1 millivolt per Kelvin, then this will be here, minus 1 M, 400 minus 300 is 100. So 100 into 1 milli is how much? 0.1 volts, right? So if your VT at 300 Kelvin, let us say, is 0.5, think about it. And you are reducing the VT by 0.4, by 0.1, so it becomes 0.4 volts. Okay, so what is the significance of this? Tell me, anybody? What is going to be the implications of this? So that means your VT is getting reduced because of temperature. So I could have simply changed it like VT dependence के बदले में हम लिख सकते थे VT reduction due to temperature. That's also a perfectly valid title for today's lecture. Happen. VT reduction से क्या हो सकता है? I want answers.
So region changes like
Huh?
subthreshold region,
Sorry? Huh?
subthreshold region and linear region will shift
So
direction of
basically,
operation.
what I'm suggesting is this is your ID, this is your VGS. Remember, we are speaking about digital operation here. So I'll look into ID VGS plot. So this is VT at 300 degrees. Okay. Now, same thing, simply shifts by 0.1 volts. This is for 400 degrees Celsius. Okay. So what is the implication? What Ashok, I think it was Ashok. What Ashok was telling was basically it will shift to the subthreshold. It's not very clear what you said. Anybody else, or Ashok, you can retry. इससे क्या होने वाला है? What is the physical problems which we are going to get out of this? Again, so this variation, what we have seen is around 0.1, right? So with the increase in the temperature, Vt has shifted. So this IDVGS plot has shifted towards the left by an amount of 0.1 volt. Sorry. Okay. So if it has shifted, all we are going to do is, instead of plotting, as I have told, if we want to figure out what is happening in the subthreshold region, we will always plot in the log plot. Okay, na? So let us do that. The same axis and everything. All I shall do is I'll now plot it in the log scale. Yeah, somebody has put a chat. It's better to, as VT gets smaller, it is easier to influence devices. Okay. Influence devices means, Shashank, please switch on your microphone and
Sir,
to switch it on and off. Influence devices bolo. What is it?
if small voltages also can make a
Switch it on and off, right? That is what I thought also. But there is a huge drawback for this.
Or lower volt VT, the transfer characteristics are like it will not be abrupt, sir. I mean, it degrades much with less VT.
No. Just notice this. So this is our original VT. This is the new VT with the temperature reduction. So I'll just, this is again 0.1 volts. Only thing I have changed is instead of plotting everything on the linear scale, I have plotted on the log scale. So if I am the original thing, like as I discussed in the subthreshold slope kind of lecture on that, this is in the linear scale. So this is essentially varying in microampere order. So I can put an order here, microampere, and here I can put the volts, because this is also linear, right? So this is volts. This is in which order? What is the unit which you write on the log scale? Decades. Short form is decade. So this is the decade changes. These are microampere changes. These are decade changes. That means every unit over here is 10 to the power of that. So if I say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, it simply means this is 10 to the power of 4, 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 2, 10 to the power of 1. This is what? 0 means 10 to the power of 0. That is 1. Okay. Here 0 means actually 0. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3 microamperes. Here it is in order. Okay. So either you call it decades or simply put amperes. All right. So now, if we are plotting this, so this is only microampere order. So if this is something around say 10 to the power of minus 6 amperes, so I'll put ampere. If it is 10 to the power minus 6, तो ये जितना भी variation आप देख रहे हो ना after VT, that is reached somewhere here. And then what is the situation? Notice this is varying between how much? 1 to 6, let us say. 1 say like a 5, 1 to, but it is varying between 0 to 10 microampere. Okay, so that means the variation from here to here is only this much, almost like a flat. But below VT, which is appearing 0 over here, because This is only in microamperes. This has got a huge variation. That is in the exponential regime. That's what we have seen in subthreshold slope. So that is going to vary like that. Now, if the VT changes, what will happen? This entire plot will shift towards the left. So from here to here, and then from here. But they will shift parallelly. So now can anybody tell us what is the problem?
So on, I mean,
Off
more
current.
negative value. Yes.
No, off current increases. This is the earlier off current. This is your new off current. So what is the problem? That
Static
as the
power.
temperature increases, the static power keeps on increasing like anything. That is the reason why whenever you want to design systems which are high performance units, for example, when you are designing chips for, let us say, servers, high performance HPC, high performance computing units, HPC servers and all that, then what you have to do is, so this is the scenario. This is what will happen. Your I off increases. Clear? So that means your static power consumption increases. Clear? We will understand this much more details in our next course. Now, what I'm suggesting is that, so what Shashank has said is correct. It will take us only, instead of 0.5 volts, it will take us 0.4 volts to switch on the transistor. That's perfectly all right. But at the same time, this power dissipation becomes a major issue. So, as an engineer, what is your way out? आप क्या कर सकते हो to avoid this? Think you have to do design paradigm, or better still, circuit design paradigm. So whenever you are, as I told you, this is like very, very practical. We are essentially designing circuits now. So circuit design paradigm. So for more robust circuits, what you have to do is overestimate the VT. Than the one defined by, phi s equal to 2 phi f. Now remember when we were explaining about the different modes of operation of the MOSFET, हम लोग क्या कह रहे थे? In the old textbooks, BTech level textbooks, they used to say phi s equal to 2 phi f is strong inversion. But in this course, I have been telling you, no. Phi s equal to 2 phi f is only the moderate inversion, onset of moderate inversion. Strong inversion happens, when does it happen? When phi s equal to, kitna tha? 2 phi f plus 324 phi t. So if you take the larger value, so that is 4 phi t, what is the situation? Phi t kitna tha? It's around 0.25, right? Sorry. Yeah, 0.025. 0.025 volts. Into 4, what is that value? How much is it? 0.1. Can you connect the dots now? This is very interesting. So यहाँ पर हम 3 to 4 phi t हम रखते थे इसीलिए, such that, and if it is a scale device, how much was the value? 0.7. So if you had taken 3 volts, 3 phi t here, that will become how much? 0.075. Okay. So what we are understanding is that in this case, whatever is the value of VT which you are losing, because of temperature increase will be compensated if you are considering this 32450 extra term in your basic device formulation, device modeling. अब समझ में आ रहा है? So that means when we are speaking about like strong inversion region, what we shall do is pictorially हम लोग क्या करते हैं? All of you probably know this. What do? We will go into so initially this is the saturation region, correct? And beyond a certain point, what is that point? VDS plus, sorry, beyond VDS plus VT, you are going to have linear operation. ठीक है ना? हम लोग क्या करेंगे? In the linear region, this is going to be linear, so we are simply going to draw a tangent, and wherever you are essentially getting that VT, that is a very good approximation of the VT which we'll use for your circuit designs. So the VT which you are defining from the textbooks of devices is defined by phi s equal to 2 phi f, which is wrong. Because if you are doing it after 10 minutes of operation, your circuits will be simply behaving like a mad. Okay, all your circuits will simply go down the drain. आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. They will be berserk. So the only way to keep a robust and reliable circuit is the fact that you have to always overestimate the VT. By how much? Say if it is 100 degrees Celsius, it is around 0.1 volts. Therefore, to be on the safe side, simply add this 32450 term with the 2 phi f. And then you make the device design. Got it? Such that even when the device or the circuit is operating at higher temperature, still it will be reliable, the IOF will not go up very high, and things will be under control. Okay, everybody? Yeah, please.
So the VT has decreased and the slope doesn't change because it just
No,
shifts.
slope doesn't change. No, slope doesn't change. So what we are going to do here is that, in fact, what we have observed earlier, that the subthreshold slope, if you go back to that class, you will find it is given by m phi t. Okay, so m is a constant, phi t is a constant. So that means the subthreshold slope, this slope which we are speaking about, that is independent of the VGS. It depends on temperature, it depends on many other factors, but it is independent of VGS. That means if you are essentially, in fact, what is going to happen here is that it is m into phi t. So phi t kya tha? Kt by q. So that means what we understand is that subthreshold slope will simply go on increasing. So that means it is not going to be the same also. It is slightly going to increase like that. So imagine that the IOF will be even further higher up because of this m phi t term. Got it? So that means not only that because of decrease in VT, this is shifting, but at the same time, the slope will also increase. I mean, inverse subthreshold slope will decrease, will basically go up. So, but that is a very small amount anyway. Huh?
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the first time I said like slope will change like.
But the slope but the slope change is very, very less compared to this one. Because remember it is m phi t, right? So, and also this slope we defined as the millivolts per decade. And that was the unit. So the variation over here will be in the order of millivolts. So that means this slope variation will be in the order of millivolts per decade change. Whereas this is changing like linear. Whatever, so if VGS changes by 0.1 volt, it will simply going to shift by 0.1 volt. This 0.1 volt ke hisab se 1 or 2 millivolt change in the slope doesn't really make any difference. But the whole point is IOF will increase several orders, and that is serious. Not only for the power consumption, for the even reliability of the device itself, circuit itself.
And these points are like in Rabe, when we are going to scale down the supply voltage, then
Yeah.
VT will also decrease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
there.
scale down the supply voltage means
I mean,
that we will notice that voltage itself scales as a part of the scaling factors. So in the next class, when we begin with scaling theory, we will notice that voltage scales with the scaling technology factor. So that means not only VDD, basically your VDD, if you are decreasing from, let us say, 100 nanometers to 10 nanometers. So what is the factor you are, that is basically 1 upon 10, right? So we will find out that the potential also has to change by the same factor alpha. Okay, we will look into that in the next class. Okay, and not only that, potential means only VDD, all the potentials. So starting from the supply bias potential to the surface potential, all the potentials will scale accordingly. But again, there are two kinds of scaling. One is the constant field scaling, the other one is the constant voltage scaling. So we will look into those, which one is preferred and which is not. So if it is constant voltage scaling, VDD remains the same, but you are scaling the technology. So what is the problem with that? But that is the initial approach of scaling, which we had like 50, 60 years ago. When scaling began, Intel was scaling with the constant voltage scaling. But immediately they realized it was a blunder. You cannot go on with that. So that is the reason why all the scaling which has been happening has always been with constant field scaling. We will see the difference between the two. Constant voltage scaling is easier, right? You keep on applying 1 volt and simply reduce the size of the device as well as the circuit. You can't do that. You have to scale the VDD as well because of the constant field scaling. So Rabe hasn't spoken about so much. So in our next class, we will speak about all those. Okay, क्यों VDD scale करता है? Because our target will be to keep the electric fields constant, not the potentials. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for joining. So in the next lecture, we will be having it offline, but that will not be recorded. So over there, I will go through whatever. I'll stop the recording first. Okay, so I'll be going through